Have you ever caught yourself thinking, better to let it go? It's not worth arguing. Or, I'm bigger than this. How many times have you swallowed the right word, the necessary response, the scream stuck in your throat just to avoid a conflict? Well, I'm going to tell you something that might hurt to hear. Every time you do this, you betray yourself. We live in a culture that venerates a superficial peace. From an early age, we are taught that not confronting is a sign of maturity. From childhood cartoons where the villain is the loud, ambitious one, to corporate policies that prioritize harmony over candid feedback, the message is clear: don't rock the boat. We're told that choosing silence is being superior. It's a lie. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche saw this with brutal clarity. He understood that this harmony you fight so desperately to maintain is actually a cage. And he warned us that if you truly want to be free, you must stop being afraid of conflict. Stop and think. Think about that sinking feeling in your stomach when you swallow your words to avoid a disagreement. You bite your tongue at a family dinner when a value you hold dear is casually dismissed. You nod along in a meeting when a decision is made that you know is a mistake, because speaking up would create tension. You tell yourself it's about choosing your battles, that you're being the bigger person. But are you? With each concession, a small piece of your integrity is traded for a moment of quiet. With every unspoken truth, a layer of resentment builds, brick by silent brick. You think you are being good, when in fact you are allowing yourself to be dominated. The slow poisoning of the self doesn't just stay in your head, it seeps into your body, manifesting as chronic tension in your shoulders, a knot in your gut, a fatigue that no amount of sleep can cure. It leaks into your relationships, creating a subtle distance between you and the people you love, because they never get to meet the real you, only the carefully curated, conflict-averse representative you send into the world. From the outside, your life looks like harmony. From the inside, it feels like a prison, a quiet prison where your potential goes to die. This life of conflict avoidance creates a ghost in your own existence. You drift through your life, never fully planting your feet, never fully declaring who you are. The cost of this false peace is a slow erosion of the self. You begin to feel hollow, a passenger in a life you're supposed to be piloting. And the most terrifying part? You begin to believe this is normal. You mistake this numbness for peace. But deep down, you know you were meant for more. To understand why you fear conflict so much, you need to go beyond personal experiences and look into the depths of human moral history. And no one has done this more relentlessly than Friedrich Nietzsche. He saw the emergence of a creature he called the last man. The last man isn't evil. He is, in fact, perfectly pleasant. His highest values are comfort, security, and the complete elimination of risk. We have invented happiness, say the last men, and they blink. Nietzsche warned that this pursuit of ultimate comfort would lead to a profound stagnation. This is the diagnosis of our modern ailment. We have been conditioned to become the last man. Our society often teaches a kind of slave morality, a term Nietzsche used to describe a value system created by the powerless and the resentful. Those who could not react, who lacked the strength to impose their will, had only one resource left: to turn the game inside out. How? By creating a new morality based on the inversion of values. What was once good, strength, pride, courage, came to be seen as evil. And what was once weakness, submission, obedience, humility, was elevated to the status of virtue. This wasn't a genuine desire for goodness, but an act of imaginary revenge. This is the genesis of what Nietzsche called ressentiment, a brooding, venomous anger that turns inward because it has no outlet. It's a creative act of the weakest, turning their powerlessness into a moral victory. And you might think that all of this is in the past, but it is not. This morality remains alive. It is in the phrases you heard since childhood. Don't respond. Don't argue. Be nice. Don't cause trouble. From an early age, you were conditioned to associate confrontation with evil and submission with virtue. That anxiety you feel before a difficult conversation isn't just a personal quirk. It's the echo of a societal command to remain small. You were indoctrinated to believe that being good is being harmless. But there is another poison in this process, because the anger you repress does not disappear. It ferments inside you and transforms into that bitter resentment. So if this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Nietzsche offers a way out, a philosophy that invites you to break this cycle of submission. This isn't about becoming more aggressive. It is about fundamentally changing your relationship with struggle itself. First, you must redefine conflict. We are not talking about petty arguments. We are talking about the friction necessary for life. It is the internal battle between the person you are and the person you could be. It is the external struggle to align your life with your deepest values. Nietzsche used the figures of Apollo, the god of order, and Dionysus, the god of chaos, to illustrate that true growth comes from the productive clash between these opposites. Avoiding conflict is choosing only Apollo, a life of sterile order with no passion, no fire. To be free, you must integrate your own inner Dionysus, allowing the passionate truth of your being to be expressed. Second, you must learn to embrace discomfort as a compass. That knot in your stomach before you speak your mind, you have been taught to see that as a stop sign. You must learn to see it as an arrow, pointing directly toward your growth. This feeling is not danger, it is friction. It is the feeling of a muscle tearing so it can rebuild stronger. Nietzsche's idea of self-overcoming is central here. We do not find ourselves, we create ourselves. And this creation is an active, often painful process. Every time you lean into that discomfort, every time you state a boundary or have a conversation you've been avoiding, you are engaged in the act of self-overcoming. The discomfort is proof that you are no longer stagnant. Third, you must learn to wield conflict as a creative tool. The goal is not to win every argument, but to become what Nietzsche called a free spirit, an individual who creates their own values. This is about reclaiming the right to exist with dignity. For example, at work, instead of silently fuming over a bad decision, you could say, "I have a serious concern about this approach. Can we discuss it to find a better solution?" You approach the confrontation not with rage, but with intention. You use the friction not as a weapon of destruction, but as a tool to forge a better reality. When you refuse to speak, your reality is shaped by others. When you speak your truth, even if it creates conflict, you become a co-creator of your reality. This is the essence of true freedom. At the end of it all, you stand at a crossroads. One path is that of conflict avoidance, the path of the last man. It is safe and predictable. On this path, you will likely be liked, but you will not be respected, least of all by yourself. The silence you purchase will be paid for with your potential. This path is a silent scream, a life of quiet desperation, where the headstone might as well read, "Here lies someone who never caused any trouble." The peace you maintain will be the sterile peace of a life unlived, a slow fade into resentment. The other path is the path of necessary conflict. It is more difficult. It will demand your courage. It will force you to confront your fears. There will be moments of intense discomfort, but this path is alive. Every step is an act of self-creation. Every overcome obstacle builds not just resilience, but a profound self-respect. This path leads to a life that is authentically yours, forged in the fires of your own challenges. The peace you think you're keeping is a prison. The harmony you are so afraid to break is the sound of your own chains. True freedom is not a gift. It is a conquest over your fear, your conditioning, and the part of you that begs for the easy road. So ask yourself, how many more injustices, small and large, will you tolerate just to maintain a fragile quiet? How many times have you stayed silent when you knew you needed to speak? Stop worshiping the ashes of harmony and start tending to the fire of your own spirit. The choice is yours to make in every moment. The choice to remain a harmless, repressed person, or to become the free and authentic individual you were meant to be. True freedom is waiting for you on the other side of the conflict you are so afraid of. Go and claim it.